Hey everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Buckaroo Designs. This week over on my blog, I am featuring the Measure of Love stamp set from Stampin' Up. I adore this stamp set, and I know many of you do too, so I couldn't wait to get started with it. Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful card. I'm going to show you how I colored the scale. It features an embossing folder from our Stampin' Up annual catalog called Pretty Flowers. Thought that name was pretty appropriate, as well as some of the Pattern Party Designer Series paper. All right, well, let's get started. Let's make our image first. To line these stamps up, I'm going to use my Stamparatus. If you have a pretty steady hand, then you can do it without the Stamparatus, but I just find I'm a little more secure if I use my Stamparatus. All right, we're going to start with the scale, and I'm going to put it right down here at the bottom of the piece of basic white, and I'm going to close the plate, and it's just going to pick that up. All right. If your photopolymer stamp is sticky when you put this down and it picks up that paper, take it and just kind of stamp your clothes, stamp your arm. It'll remove that stickiness, kind of like you do with a sticker when you don't want it to be so sticky. After you stamp it a couple of times, it loses that super stickiness and it won't pick up your paper. So let's make sure I've still got that in the right spot. Yep, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to put this piece right here. Hopefully that will hold that in the right spot. Okay, I'm going to take Memento because I'm coloring with Stampin' Blends. Memento is the ink you want to use. Ink it up over here and set it down. Press firmly. That is pretty perfect. Okay, next we're going to line up this bowl. When I tried to stamp this without the Stamparatus, this was the one that I couldn't quite get perfect. If it's going to stop sticking to my hands here, let's see. Well, that may be quite right where we want it. I have to get my head right on top of it to see it. Okay, there we go. All right, let's pick that up. And we're going to ink that in Memento also. Sitting right on top of that scale. And now we're going to put some cherries, or actually they're hearts. Well, they're cherries or hearts. In another project, I used them as cherries, but this time I'm not going to put the stems on them. All right, pick that up. Let's see. Let me make sure that's right in place. I'm sorry, I have to put my head right on top of this to make sure I've got it in the right place. Okay. We're going to do this in Flirty Flamingo. Well, let's make sure I got that inked. And set that down. There we go. Perfect. All right, now we're going to color this with Stampin' Blends like I mentioned. And I'm going to start with Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to do something a little bit different than I normally do. I want you to notice how light it is. That's because all I'm going to do is take my Flirty Flamingo and I'm going to go around the outline right on the edge. I've got to have a pretty steady hand, and I'm going to go around the outside of the circle. Sometimes if you do little flicking marks, it's a little bit better, a little more steady. Now I'm going to take my blending, my stamping, what do we call this? Color lifter. I call it a blending marker, but it's a color lifter. But actually what we're doing is we're just blending these colors together, making them kind of meet in the middle. And that gives it kind of that washed out feel. Makes it look a little antiqued. All right. Now I'm going to do the same thing with Pool Party, and I'm going to use Pool Party Dark. That was Flirty Flamingo Dark. Now for this one, I want the top. Wait a minute, we're not going to do Pool Party there. Okay, hold on. I think I can save that. Let's do the bowl. Boy, that would be funny, I guess, if we had half of it, half of the scale Flirty Flamingo and half Pool Party, but you know what? Who cares? It could be whatever you want it to be, right? All right, I'm going to take that blending brush, or the color lifter, sorry, color lifter, and I'm going to pull that color towards the middle. Okay, now let's see if we can lift that color out, because we don't want Pool Party there. Let's use the marker for what it's intended. Look at that, it's removed it pretty well. Now if I had the time, I would let it dry and then do it again, and it would pretty much be gone. But what I'm going to do, since we don't have time, I'm going to take my Flirty Flamingo Dark and do the same thing we did over there. Look at that, you can hardly see that Pool Party. And then I'm going to take the color lifter and make that color kind of bleed up towards the top. And then I'm going to come back here and do a little bit more, see if we can get that to pull together a little bit better. And there you have it. Isn't that beautiful? Now this one you could continue to add. Let's add a little bit of the light Pool Party. If we wanted a little more color up in here. I really wanted it to have that white shine. So I don't want to add too much color. See how I'm just kind of flicking it towards the middle? There we go. What do you guys think? You could use your blends to color it in completely. I'm going to show you another project where I did that. See how it's just blended, or it's colored solid? Or you can do that. It gives it a different feel. It's a matter of preference, or just kind of what you feel like. I wanted this to look kind of antique and old, so that's why I left it like that. All right, let's put on the little arm, the little measuring arm of the scale. And you want them to, oh, well, look at that. There we go. I have a boo-boo there. We're going to pretend like it's not there because we're going to cover it up in a minute. All right, now I'm going to mat this on basic black cardstock. All right, set that aside. Now let's put the rest of our card together. I have a basic white thick card base and a piece of basic black and a piece of Flirty Flamingo. And we're going to emboss this, like I told you at the beginning, with a Pretty Flowers embossing folder. So let's bring over our cut and emboss machine. This embossing folder is not one of our real thick ones, the 3D embossing folder. So we're going to need plates 1 and 2. And then you put your paper in. Right there, line it up. There's a line down there to make sure you get it straight. And then take plate 4, put it right on top, and run it through. Let's look and see how that looks. Very pretty. All right, now we're going to mat this one also on basic black. Whoops, got some stragglers. Put that right there. And we're going to put this, actually, let's put this across here first. I've got a basic white scalloped border that I cut with the contoured scallop dies. I'll have all of this listed over on my blog if you want to look. And then I've got a piece of that beautiful paper that I love so much called the Pattern Party Designer Series paper. And I'm going to cut it diagonally, okay? Just put it on your trimmer, corner to corner. And we've got 2 pieces we could use. So you could make 2 cards here. So let's put this on with our Stampin' Seal. There we go. And then I'm going to take this border and put that right across there like that. See, this is why I didn't put this on a second ago, because we're going to need to trim this off so that it matches the edges. There we go. Oh, I just love this color combination. All right, now we're going to put it on our thick basic white card base. And we'll get our cute little scale. We're going to put this on with dimensionals. And I know all I can see is that smudge, but don't worry. I smudged it in the right place because we're going to cover it up. Put that right there. Now I have cut this cute little stitch label. This is from the message die. And I'm going to stamp the Love You More and Pool Party right in the center. Woo! Let's see. I think it stayed. All right, it did. Boy, this is like comedy of errors today. All right, I'm going to put 1 dimensional on this side and 2 on this side to stack it because we've got 1 dimensional over here, under here. And when we put this here, we need this to reach the same height as this one over here. So I'm going to put that right there. Can you guys see how there's 2 on this side and 1 on that side to make it even? All right, last but not least, I am using some black and white twine. And we're going to make a little bow here. Get a glue dot. Oh my goodness. I've got a lot of videos to film today. I hope this isn't how they all go. And we're going to put that right in the corner. And there you have it. Now, you could change the sentiment if you don't want to use Love You More. There are others in this set, as well as pull from your other sets to make the card meet whatever need you have. All right, make sure you click on my link here on YouTube. It's going to take you back to the Facebook Friday post where I originally did this project, and there's a PDF there that has all the measurements and the supplies listed, and it's free. Thanks, guys. Let me know if you have questions. Bye-bye.